welcome everyone back to our final round of the season here at the Indianapolis road course, a famous track. Well, the driver's title is sealed in favour of Mr. Exalski, but there's still some places in the standings still up for grabs, as well as the team's title. 2 points between the Hot Wheels team and Mr. Exalski and Kart's team. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins that one. As this is practice, it is one of those practice reverse championship grid races. However, this man here, Gelo, he is going to be starting at the back when he should have been starting second, as he was deemed to be at fault for a incident back in Dubai, and because there's no qualifying ban, he was ordered to start from the back in this grid race. So hearts for him, since he should have been second, but we are missing Marty and LSD High, who could not make it tonight. So we've got 12, but hopefully these 12 make it an exciting race. As Gelo is first out. It's about here that the formation zone is. I keep forgetting about this new Indianapolis layout. I remember the old one where it was a bunch of tight hairpins and then just straight around the banked bit, not this twisty new version we've got. We had that long left-hander rather than that little chicane, but he comes over the start-finish line in a second, and he's going to be first to settle up, so of course we follow him. Of course it's America, no corner names, it's all numbers. Just brake very early for turn 1. Keep it slow, and then power through turn 2. This is all a lot tighter than the old course used to be. And then flat out through turn 3. Bring it left, because in turn 4 you're immediately going right. The old track you would go right here, you can see where it goes off there. But now it is a flat out chicane. And down this back straight. Now we come to the section where it used to be at 2 180-degree hairpins. Of course that layout back when F1 raced here. But now it is a S corner, which I'm not a fan of this newer version of Indianapolis. I'd love the 180-degree hairpins, and I'd love the flat out around the banking. Well, anyway, he comes around this long right of turn 11. And then it's bring it left, brake, get it tucked in over that curb. It's quite a high curb, so you're not going to want to use too much of it. Pull it to the right for this deceivingly tight left-hander. It looks quite an open corner when you first go into it, but very, very tight. And then it's flat out around here on to the more famous version of the track, or more famous part of the track, of course, for IndyCar, the Indy 500. 25.9, of course, with it being practice, they're all on race fuel. Kart goes quickest. That shows a good promise for his team's push at the team's championship, if he can get a good result alongside Mr. Exalski. It's been very mixed for Kart. And there's Schwantz, who actually has a shot at P2 in the title over Danny. Of course, they are teammates, so I imagine their goal here is to try and get the team's title, so they won't do anything silly. And he sets P, or he doesn't set anywhere, he hasn't set a time yet. Of course, Kart. He had a win in Hockenheim and a win in Monaco, but otherwise, you know, he's had some absolute nightmare races. He had a 9th at Donington, followed by an 11th and a 14th, and then a 14th again at Zhuhai. So some really, really bad results for Kart, but then also 2 wins. As Schwantz gets a nice toe off his teammate, puts him P2. Mr. Exalski not feeling need to go out. So of course it is him and Kart in the Cash Show Mercedes. I hate saying that. You're saying SH twice, it sounds like Castro. Up against Schwantz and Danny, the two of them together in the Hot Wheels Mercedes. So two Mercedes going at it. It's gonna be a Mercedes that wins the team's title. So 2 seasons in a row, a Mercedes has won the driver's title with Matt, who had a very, very good season, had a couple of dominant races. Who came up against this man, Mr. Consistent, throughout the season, Chicano, as we decide to pan very far away and then back in. Yeah, this man, Chicano, they had a brilliant scrap last season, where anyone could have won it on the last lap of the last race, but it went in favour of the Mercedes. And, of course, we haven't had that repeated, which is a shame, but Mr. Exalki has deserved everything he's got. That last season was something special. My first season commentating this is my second season. We've had some brilliant races, Monaco being my highlight. I mean, a race with upside down cars and 6 going for the lead, what more do you want? But, so we'll take you through what can change in the standings. So, Mr. Kaktalski has won. But while the two Hot Wheels cars have a shot at the team's title, Schwantz is 7 behind Danny for P2. So while they're going to have their eyes on the Constructors' title, Schwantz might just be thinking he can try and take P2 off of his teammate. Chicano is pretty solid in 4th, he's 31 points over Pren. A bit further back, Archie's P9 is under a bit of threat. Marty isn't here, so it helps him. But Gilo and Slicker have a shot, so if we have a crazy race, Archie could lose his P9, although I don't see him doing that. He has 20 points to make up in Vunts, and we've seen some brilliant drives from Archie. Nonetheless, his podium at Rapuna. That was a brilliant drive from him. He had a fairly consistent season, sort of finishing between sort of 7th to 5th. Didn't have such a great time in Dubai with 11th place, but you can try and write that here as Slicker goes straight on. In the teams, as I said, 2 points between Hot Wheels and, well, the team called Sexual Chocolate. That's an odd name, I'm going to refer to them as their driver names. Chick Slick should be safe in 3rd. They have 27 points over Where's My Shoes, but Marty is not here. And that leaves HB Racing. Which is Spence and Vunts. So we have all the statistics of the drivers, so we'll go through it. At the Chick Slick team, Chicano has won the qualifying battle 9-2. HB Racing, Vunts won that battle actually 6-5, so super close between them. Schwantz has won the qualifying battle for the Hot Wheels team. Archie has beat Berno 5-3. Carr actually wins the qualifying battle at his team, beating Mr. Gazalski 6-4. And Pren and Marty have been very close, just 6-5 to Pren, and everyone else is an independent. Chicano, again, 9-2 in the races. Spence 6-5 over Vunts. Schwantz, again, has the advantage over Danny, 6-4. But he is obviously behind slightly in the championship. Archie in the race has whitewashed Berno 8-0. That could change today, although Archie's quickest. Mr. Exalski overturns his 4-6 loss in qualifying to a 7-3 win on race day. So, some great race performances from him. It could have been 6-4, or sorry, it could have been 5-5 in qualifying if he decided to qualify in Dubai. Obviously fancy the challenge, and Pren wins 7-4 over his teammate. So as for wins, Mr. Excelski has 4. Schwantz, actually Mr. Excelski has never taken a pole. He had an average possession of 3.4. Danny never won a race, but got 1 pole position. Schwantz had 3 wins from 3 poles. Chicana with just 1 win back at Kapuna. Pren with 2 pole positions. Cart with his 2 wins that I mentioned earlier at Hockenheim and Monaco. And then Spence also with a win at Rouen in the second race. So, it's going to be time to race 62 laps, so it's going to be a long one. We are going to be here for a while. So I hope you've got some food, some drinks, because, well, there's a lot to play for. The driver's title is decided. So hopefully, these drivers are going to go balls to the wall and give us some excellent racing. It's almost like a sort of schools out feeling. Apart from the main one's the driver's title, that's what everyone focuses on. Of course, if you're involved in the constructors' battle, you want to win it. But maybe everyone's just going to let loose and have a great race. Of course, being reverse grid, we should see some cars. We should see overtakes. Although Mr. Excelski will be starting 11th. Should have been 12th, but for Gilo's penalty. But he always seems to find himself up in about P5 after the first lap, so... This is everyone making sure all their settings are correct, strategy, everything they need. As we are just promoting this stream, getting it out there. So yeah, let me go through that grid where everyone's gonna start. When I go to the right thread, it's a bit of a pain to navigate around the site. So, as it stands, we are a man down due to Marty, but it will be Burno first, Slicker second, Archie third, Vance fourth, Spence fifth, Cart sixth, Pren seventh, Chicano eighth, Schwantz ninth, Danny 10th, Mr. Excelski 11th, and Gilo 12th with his penalty in Dubai for a supposed cheat in Dubai. Let him release the pit limiter early and gain an advantage. Stewards took a dim view of that, and he's now lost his P2 on the grid. As you can see, everyone moving aside, letting the cars that should be at the front go at the front. It should be Berno who goes on pole, and he's making his way there. He passes Slicker. As we're down to 11, actually. Spenced, I think. Yeah, Spenced in the pits. So either he's not readied up, or something's happened. I would guess ready up, or not readied up, is the most likely cause. This is a very slow formation lap so far. We usually see about 80 miles an hour, and we're starting to get some speed up now. Of course, with a formation lap, everyone speeds up, slows down to get heat into tyres, but as are the rules, you're not allowed to excessively slow down. So you can't slam the brakes from 80 to 40. You risk the car behind going into the back of you. So like I said, they're going to form up on that long right-hander just after the banking. And the acceleration zone is on the main straight. This sort of starts in the middle of where all the grid boxes are. It's hard to really explain because that's all that you can see with all the details I am provided. There they go, lining up. The Audi's in first and third. I think you can see it from championship position. It sort of shows Archie's not really where he deserved to be. He should be more towards the back of the starting grid. He's had a great season. Sometimes the results haven't translated, as we have a staggered grid, kind of. Slicker's a bit behind Berno, which is forcing the left-hand side to be a bit further back. It's almost more alongside Archie. Unless this was something that was pre-agreed. I don't recall it. Or I was not informed. But Berno can accelerate when he likes. And he goes. And Archie has outreacted Slicker, it seems. As everyone is almost about 5 wide. Has everyone got through okay? Slicker has repassed Archie. That's Exalski already up to P8. So it's imperative for all those... Oh, that was Schwantz into Kart. Schwantz is round. That is not what they need for the Constructors' title. That is both of the Cash Show Mercedes. It sounds like Castro, I hate it. Damn them for picking that livery. But they're now ahead of both the Hot Wheels cars. One of the Hot Wheels cars at the back. Mr. Keksalski into the side of Pren. Destroys one of the bollards. Some things are shouting in life, death tax and any bollards being taken out in a sim race. Whenever I sim race. They're gone within 1 or 2 laps. Pren has been passed by Mr. Keksalski, who's already up to P6. The 6th and 4th for those two. And it's 10th and 11th for the Constructors' Championship leaders. If Carter had a bit more luck this season, you would think it would be pretty much in their hands by now. But with that opening lap, that suits them. Now, what can Archie do on the back of that Huracan? As we have some defending going on. Vunts from Danny. As it's 3 wide. Danny is trying to pass Vunts, as Vunts is trying to pass Chicano. Nothing happening with that move. Archie looking to get that Audi 1-2. I really should have brought myself a drink. I don't think I have one. Which is a pain, since I have to be here for maybe an hour and a half plus. But there goes car on Archie. Don't make contact, lads. That has let Slicker get away slightly. The last thing they need is having one of their cars spin from a move. They have the team's titles in their hands. Gilo separating those two cars. Exalski not made any progress since his lap on charge. Not fully on the back of this Ferrari. Oh, that's a car round. That is Mr. Keksalski. What's happened to him? So now he is going to drop to plumb last. Well, if the Hot Wheels guys ever needed a way in, that was it. How he went around, I don't know. The only car near him was Pren. I'm not sure how you could spin on your own there, but I'm also not sure how you could crash there. Well, that was an odd one, but Danny and Schwantz will be thinking, this is our chance. They just need to get some moves on through the pack. So you can see Danny there behind the bright orange Mercedes. Is this Archie's goal with Slicker now? He's down the inside, but is he going to let Cart through? Still side by side, some brilliant racing, but Archie gets it around the outside. Nothing Slicker can do. Archie leaves the Lamborghini room. And in fact, behind is Gilo, going to have a move at the Mercedes. He doesn't quite get a nose underneath. But Slicker is coming back at Archie. Now that is surely going to be Cart through, is it? No, Slicker's still at Archie. How's the straight line speed gonna compare? In fact, look at Cart. He is alongside. All this fighting is bringing everyone else in. You can see Schwantz in the background, as is Danny. Mr. Kexelski might just appear. There he is in the background. Cart down the inside of Slicker. Slicker's gonna get back into turn 2 though. Oh, almost contact. There was a little bit of wiggle from the Huracan. Now, is that going to be Pren through? Is Pren going to make a double move? He is. So Pren passes Gilo and Cart in one move, and that gives Slicker some breathing room. How quickly is Cart going to react to Pren? Pren covers the inside. And Cart, is he going to try all the way around the outside? It seems a popular move there. He is. Gilo is alongside Pren and down the inside of this right-hander. It's a brilliant battle going on. Now it was back to as it was, Cart from Gilo from Pren. This has allowed Chicano to close up. In fact, Danny has made his way through on Vance. And Schwantz is on the back. So these guys, while Cart is being held up and being stuck in battles, need to try and make their way through. Actually, Archie 25.8. Considering everyone else is in a fight and, you know, being stuck behind others, that is by far the quickest of anyone. Closest is Schwantz with a 26.6. So, I wonder what will happen if Archie closes on Berno. Will there be some team orders in place to allow Archie to go through? You would think... Sorry, that was the noise of my inhaler. I am asthmatic. I do need it. You would think a good chance of Archie winning would be is if he gets past Berno, gets let through, and just scampers off while everyone else fights, and Berno tries to hold them up. In fact, what's happened to Pren? Pren is down to P10. If something has happened to him. No visible damage on the Ferrari. Now what Schwantz needs is Danny to pull away from Vance. Because right now, Danny's giving Vance a slipstream. And while that happens, unless Vance makes a mistake, I'm not sure there's going to be a way through for Schwantz. I'm going to try and have the points system up so that at times we can check in, see who's going to win the team's title. As Schwantz goes for it. That was almost like a let go by Vance. Either that or he just saw how fast Schwantz was coming through and thought, I'm not going to fight this one. These three back at it. And Berno also setting a good pace, 26.4. Cart is going to go for it, and Slicker. We saw Slicker hold off Archie earlier, as he's going to go back down the inside. He's going to have the outside here, but it's going to turn back into the inside for this right-hander. Some absolutely brilliant racing going on. Cart's wide. That's going to allow Gilo through. What about Chicano? Any chance for the Irishman? He's gaining. Is he going to think about a move into the right-hander? He almost does. And look. Danny and Schwantz are joining in this fight. And if they can get Cart, well, this is back in their hands. Mr. Keksalski up the back. You can see him just in the background. He's gone through the right-hander. What a fight we have going on for P3. All the way down to P9. And after not too long... And Slicker, the immovable object, is doing a brilliant job. The only person that has managed to get past him is Archie. Otherwise, Slicker is doing a fantastic job holding this pack off. Of course, you'll know some of these guys are quicker, but why not? It's the last race of the season. It's early doors. The more time you make them lose, the better a chance you have of beating them later on. And Slicker, oh, a little lock up into there, but he should still have that on Gilo. If he can hang it around the outside of this right, which he doesn't, Gilo just manages to get in front and shut the door. And finally, someone else has managed to pass the Lamborghini. And next up is going to be Carr, but he has the imminent threat of Chicano. Oh, Slicker almost backed down the inside of Gilo. That was so close to contact. I normally try and provide you guys with brilliant onboard, but we could miss anything if we go on board. Now, this is just some brilliant battling. I asked them to make it exciting for me. I wanted Monaco levels, and well, so far it's providing. And now, Carr, is he going to be able to find a way past Slicker without losing out to Chicano, who pulls out to the right? And Carr gets it stopped. Now, is Slicker gonna fight Chicano? I think Chicano has to deal with Danny. No, he's managed to hold that one off. And if Chicano tries a move anywhere, I'm sure that'll be the thing. He's not going to wave Chicano through, but if Chicano goes for a move, he's not exactly going to defend it. There's no point losing them both time. So now it is important for Danny and Schwantz to get a move on. Cart is through. As it stands, I don't honestly know. I don't have time to check. We're only 8 laps into the race. The sun is starting to set over this Indianapolis road course. One of the most famous tracks, one of the most famous races. Should have happened just about a week ago or so. But how is the gap up front? There's Berno. Look at the lead the Audis have. Both doing a fantastic job. Berno has taken that lead he got through the reverse grid and has absolutely sailed away with it. So, will there be team orders down here at Mercedes? At Hot Wheels Mercedes, do we think? Once they break away from Vance, that is. Schwantz was convincingly quicker at Dubai. Can he be quicker here? He's certainly all over the back of Danny. There's too much traffic around. And of course, that P2 in the championship, Danny might not be willing to let his teammate go through. As much as he wants the team title, he might also want his P2 in his first season in Tier 2. Our championship leader up the back is starting to make gains into the field. He's caught about a second out. You see, Mr. Keksalski in free year, Archie's doing about the same lap times. Chicano not making an impression on his teammate just yet. Struggling to try and pass. Even get close enough to be waved through. have about a second behind. And 26.5 from Slicker isn't exactly a pace that you think I need to get through when the fastest is only 2 or 3 tenths quicker. Is that a move behind? Schwantz past Danny. Did Schwantz take the initiative? Or was that planned? I'd guess from the way Danny tried to fight back there, that was initiative over planning. So they are through. They need to start trying to do something about the two chick-slick cars. And in fact, that Vunt's going to be through on Danny. If Danny has another race like he did in Dubai, where he struggles for pace, and has a finish of about where he was, about 7th or 8th, then his team's championship might be under threat, as he's really dropped away from Schwantz. And Schwantz has closed in onto these two Lamborghinis. Oh, that was wide from Chicano. This is surely going to be the chance, although he's had to get out of it. But he's surely going to have the overrun. That Mercedes is super quick in a straight line. Although Chicano with the inside line for turn 1. Who's going to be last of the late breakers? If Schwantz can keep it there, he's going to have the inside for turn 2. But he is going to try and keep it there. Chicano very wide. And that's Schwantz through. This is the progress they need. Car is ahead of Gillo. Was he always ahead of Gillo, or has he just done that? I can't remember. But now, up front, look at these two. Archie has closed in. So, is Berno going to think, my teammate's a lot quicker, we could get a win here? Archie's had a good run out of here. Could he perhaps go down the inside of the right-hander or into turn 1? See the sun that's starting to set, going a bit orange. Check in a bit further behind. No immediate moves looking on, but what about these two? Does Archie get let through, and if so, when? Almost looks like Berno's trying to let him go. There he goes, there's the switch. So a tactical move at Audi to allow Archie the lead. And if Archie can set more 26s, I mean 25.4 from Cart. If Archie can go off, set a quick pace, and even if he doesn't win, even if the faster drivers come through, there's still a chance of a great result on for him. It'd be great to see Archie get a good result. He deserves his one in Rapuna. It'd be great to see him go even further here. And it's starting to go quite dark here. We're going to be overnight here. I don't think Indy has a 24-hour race, not like Daytona does. It's quite odd seeing cars race at night around here. You see them at night at like Daytona and Sebring, and it seems normal. Is that Danny boy with the nose underneath? Not quite. Hasn't quite got the error that Schwantz got out of Chicano. But this is starting to look like the progress they need. Apologies for my dog. But Schwantz not able to get through Slicker, who is becoming the immovable object for today. Chicano holding off Danny as well, so both chick-slick cars facing pressure from the two Hot Wheels Mercedes, and is that Schwantz going to be through? We've seen Slicker defend into this corner many times. Schwantz doesn't go. Well, Slicker prepared for a move, went too deep in, thinking he was going to have to leave room. Up behind the Lamborghini, showing off the Barwell Motorsport logo. He's going to be down the inside, great camera work. And that's going to be up to P5. Not bad considering he was around. Oh no, was it lap 1 or lap 2? I think it was lap 2. Actually, Mr. Kagdalski has lost even more time. He'd got the gap down to about 14 seconds, and now at 21, so something else has gone on in his race. He has a lot less fuel than others, so perhaps he's planning to put fuel in at his stop. Not something you usually see people try in this game, as taking off fuel is very, very long. But Cart is trying to do everything for his team. Cart and Schwantz are going to be the two main protagonists, it seems like. Danny struggling just now, not quite making the same progress as his teammate. Mr. Kagdalski, well, I mean, it's not going great for him so far. But don't rule him out. We've seen him be in this sort of position and end up finishing, you know, 3rd or 4th or something like that. Chicano back on his teammate. A little bit of wheel spin for the Demon Tweaks car. Cart has picked himself up a 1 second time penalty for ignoring track limits. 26.2 from Chicano. This is going to be the move. Oh, Danny, what was that? That was never going to be a viable option, and he's dropped himself behind Pren. Or has he? Saw him coming through the middle, and you just knew. It ended better than you would have expected. Very nearly. Actually, what's happened to Chicano? Oh, Chicano's round. I was going to say we could have seen Chicano round. He is round. He's down to P11. Whether that was an effect of the Danny move. Bernal doing a great job trying to help his teammate. And so he and Cart set the exact same lap time last time around. Oh, Cart into the back of Bernal. A little bit further behind. Pren is on to Slicker. Slicker got turn 1 all wrong. That's not turn 1, that's the final sector. What am I on about? And is that droplets of rain? It is. It's starting to rain. We're heading into the night, and the rain is surely going to mix things up. Car into Berno again. You can see it on the screen. The rain is falling here in Indianapolis. Now Pren is through on Slicker. Must have been a move into turn 1. They're not doing fantastically for Archie's case. Of course, he's not intentionally slowing the Merc down, but he's not waving him through. Car looks like he's almost getting a little desperate. Still a long way to go in this race. Rain could completely mix it up. Some drivers might relish the rain, some might hate it. A bit further behind. Danny, Slicker and Vuntz all quite close together. Whoa, car! Oh, car is heavy into the wall. Where they just carried a bit too much speed behind Berno's Audi. Well, that is another big hit to their team's title. So that is going to harm his pace quite bad. That's going to be a lot of front end damage. Is the car driving straight? Let's see once he gets around the next couple of corners. Almost looks like it's pulling to the right a little bit. Actually, won't want to pit now. Rain coming down. You can see all the damage. And it's a bit weird that damage is on the right hand side, considering he went in front left first. Flash of the lights from Schwantz. Perhaps thinking that, this is what he will see, you might be thinking that Cart doesn't have his lights on, when in fact Cart has just smashed his lights. Well, the Cart doesn't seem too affected by the damage just yet, he's still going okay. Goes right about here into that wall. Gilo gonna have a look at Berno. Not quite happening. Look at what this is doing for Archie. 10 seconds. In fact, Slicker has dropped back a lot, so it's not going too well for the chick slick cars. Slicker was the immovable object. Well, the two chick slick cars became movable, but they moved in the wrong direction, backwards. Berno doing great still to be holding on to his P2. Of course, strategically let his teammate through, and he's held on to it since. In fact, Schwantz might be trying to have a look at that Mercedes. Of course, Car in defending by braking late. I mean, he needs to make sure he doesn't slam into the back of Gilo. That almost looked like a corner cut. This is Gilo closing on the Audi. Berno defends early. He's going to be brave to go around the outside. Doesn't have his car alongside himself, but Berno gave him the room. Berno still holds on for P2. This is absolutely brilliant. Archie must be laughing. Has the car extended his penalty? No, it looked like he had a corner cut at that right-hander. Oh, that's wide from Gilo, but Berno's also half spun. So a mistake from Berno is what let Gilo through. In fact, Schwantz has come steaming around the outside, trying to pass the pair of these two. But in doing so, he's completely messed up. Cart is now ahead of Berno. Of course, Cart carrying some form of damage. Right, what's happened to Archie? Archie's pitting. I was wondering why the gap was coming down. The times have slowed down. Archie feels it is time to swap to tyres appropriate for rain. No one else following him. In fact, Berno is. Both Audis in. Mr. Kagzalski in. So we're having a few coming in. You can see the rain is getting quite heavy now. Danny is in. In fact, Gilo almost losing it into T1. That 130, 132, 132. Vuntz in, Pred in, Slicker in, Chicano in. Everyone in, bar these three. Archie's going to be first out down this huge pit lane. In fact, Mystic Exaltate is going to be taking fuel there. Spence's non-moving car. As the other Audi gets going. Look how slow they are going around these corners. They've definitely missed a trick. How far down in their best lap are they around here? 6 seconds. Everyone else nailed it. Those guys have not. Or it certainly seems that way. Archie rejoins. These guys surely have to be in this time around. They are. Gilo is in. Cart is in. As is Schwantz, as they both almost run off the road trying to get in. But you can see the gap to Gilo. Look how quickly it's coming down. As of course based on when they were going around. I mean, it's 3 seconds on this straight. We're crawling around these corners at 60 mile an hour. Archie's going around it quite confidently at sort of 70, 80. Of course, his first time out on these tyres. He will be a bit tentative. Mystic Exaltate still with a lot less fuel than anyone else. Exact same in the Audi, so they started with the exact same. Gilo now moving. Archie coming around the second last corner. In fact, Mystic Exaltate has passed Berno. So he is somehow up in net P2. Something must have gone on there that he's gained that much time. Gilo just accelerating. There goes Archie. Gilo has somehow held on to P2 and gained on Archie. So perhaps that extra lap wasn't a bad thing. So how Gilo has gained that much time, I do not know. So Schwantz on the back of Cart, as we're now at a wet, dark Indianapolis. Doesn't look like Schwantz has tried to fix his damage, as Perrin goes through on Danny. So this wet phase could be huge for the team's title. If one driver struggles or one excels, it could be a massive, massive difference. I don't know how Mystic Exaltate has gained that much time, but currently it's 3rd and 5th for them, and 6th and 8th for Hot Wheels. But Schwantz is close to Cart. So that could end up making a difference. As per usual, I drop things. Schwantz dropping off Cart a little bit. As wide from Danny. Is that going to allow Slicker through? Slicker's going to be around the outside for the right, you have the inside for the left, a little bit of contact. So Gilo is indeed catching Archie's Audi. So this is, that is going to be an important battle. These two, Schwantz versus Cart. But Archie not doing so well in the wet, 32.9, one of the slower lap times. It seems also Danny is not having the greatest time. Slicker is ahead of him. So he's down to P9. So right now, I mean, I don't even need to calculate it. As it stands, it would be going to Cart and Mr. Kagzalski for the team's title. Of course, Schwantz has an option to change things. Danny is not agreeing with something right now. But Cart has working rear lights now. I'm surprised that Mercedes is still going at a solid pace, given the damage sustained at, well, this turn right here. Just understeers straight into the wall. So Chicano, he's going to want to move up. He's not going to want to end this season with a last place. Of course, we only have 11, meant to have 12. But Spence, for some reason, not in the race. Most likely an issue with readying up. Doesn't look close enough to make a move just yet. There's Mr. Kagzalski, who's been closing in steadily on these two. And back there is Berno, Cart and Schwantz. Schwantz not able to make any sort of moves. His, well, team's championship rival. In fact, they might be catching Berno before they can resolve that fight. Is this going to be Chicano's chance into T1? He's down the inside, has to hope that Vunt sees him, and he does. Oh, a little bit squirrely on the exit. And Chicano straight back down the inside, out tractions the Mercedes and up to P10 now. He has Danny a little bit further ahead. Danny is not liking these conditions. 36, that was the slowest lap time of anyone last time around. Slicker is pulling away. So how long before Chicano tries and comes to demote Danny to P10? Cart, he's got a great run on Berno, both of these drivers with penalties. And that should be Cart up to P4. Best thing Schwantz can hope for is a crash. So at the moment it looks like, well, the championship is not going in favour of the current leaders. how quick. Oh, that was so close to contact. Schwanz needs to try and get past that Audi before Kart just drives away. No, it's not going to happen there. So both of them with penalties. 10 seconds for Bernal, so that might put an end to any chance of a good result for him, unless of course it's removed for being deemed unfair. I do apologise if I sound funny. I really need a drink, but I don't want to leave the action. Because for me to get a drink it would be about 2 minutes, and anything could happen in that time, and I don't want to do that. So my throat hurts, but we will soldier on regardless. As Bernal... Oh, that's not the button I wanted to press. Oh my god, what is happening? As Schwanz, now in the same way that Kart did, has a great run on to the main straight. You'll see that Mercedes pull to the left. But it doesn't quite commit to the move, he's still there. Is he going to go for some sort of switchback? Not quite, so still, Kart is now 3 seconds ahead, so this is important for Schwanz. He's down the inside, he's so close to contact again at turn 4. Up front, Archie is still holding on. These conditions are not agreeing with him. Mr. Kazalski, who I said never rule out, it looks like he still needs fuel at some point. But he is P3. So everyone else with sort of 80, 77, 92. He has 51. So either everyone else has massively overfueled, or Mr. Kazalski is underfueled. Schwanz now down the inside with this right-hander. Not quite. Bernal, again, is doing a great job, much like he did when he was trying to help Archie. He's doing a good job of holding off someone who's fighting for P2 in the championship. Now does Schwanz have a chance again into T1? He's a lot more alongside this time. All he needs to do is just slightly outbrake the Audi. Of course, in trying to do that, you can quite easily just sail off. He's now ahead, but Bernal, you think, is going to have the better traction on that line. Clean around the outside. At turn 2 goes Schwanz. So now his fight with Kart is broken up by 5 seconds. And Gilo has passed Archie. So that is a change for the lead. After about 15 to 20 laps, Archie has relented his lead, and he might be about to relent P2 even sooner than that. As he's storming Mr. Kazalski in P3, looking for P2. Of course, he was 20 seconds in last at one point after a succession of spins. Not sure what happened to the first one. It was a weird place to spin. Pren was near. So whether he jumped or was pushed, we don't know. The second one, well, definitely happened in his zone. He was so far behind. But Archie not giving this one up. Is Gilo ahead, Mr. Kazalski behind. It's that awkward position of if you defend too hard, you lose the leader. If you fight too hard, you let the car behind go through. And is Mr. Kazalski going to think about a double move here? No, slots in, will take the position off of Archie. And well, if Mr. Kazalski can take the lead and drive off, even if he does need fuel, he could potentially build a gap sideways through turn 3. As we are almost approaching half distance. There he goes for the lead on Gilo. Threw his car down the inside into the left-hander, and that is the lead for our driver's champion. We'll see how it all pans out as we are approaching the halfway distance. Still chucking it down here in Indianapolis. We should get to a point where we start to see some sunrise. Which this game night seems to be a lot longer than day is. That is the lead. Pren now on the back of Bernal. Schwanz not made any impression. Sorry, messed my throat again. Pren not making any impression on Bernal. Sorry, no, Schwanz not making any impression on Carr. In fact, the gap is going up and up and up. So as it stands right now, you don't need me to tell you, it is massively in favour of the, I'm just going to call them the fluorescent Mercedes team. And, well, it might be starting to get worse for Danny. Chicano is on his case, and he's going to try and demote Danny into P10. I mean, well, not far behind is Vance, who might try and demote him to last, which is really, really going to hurt. Chicano, pretty much the same as he did to Vance, steams down the inside into 3 with better traction out of 2. Well, that's Danny down to P10, and well, here is Vance. You can see he's not exactly far behind, and he wants P10. And while that would put the trophy firmly with Mr. Excelski and Kart, it would also mean Danny's and loses P2 to Schwanz. So no fight back from Gilo just yet. And you can see already a second from Vance to Danny. So Vance is gaining. Oh, but there's a mistake from the Mercedes. That's gonna delay the assault. Currently with penalties, still the same at 1 second for Kart, 10 for Berno. And right now for Berno, that would put him sort of P9 to 10. In fact, Kart is gaining on Archie. And if he gains on Archie, well, there's a chance he could gain on Gilo. And, well, a 1-2 would be a way to seal the team's title. Driver's title is sorted, bar 1 or 2 places. Gilo is well, about to fall out of range of Mr. Exalski. It's about 1.2 seconds where the game says, hey, there's action. And he's close to falling out of that. Danny hasn't let Chicano go. Chicano is close on Pren. In fact, Pren, 42.9. I think it's fair to say he has spun around somewhere on the last lap, which has invited pressure from Chicano. That's also a bit too deep in there. Of course, these two came to blows at Monaco, which of course was the race just after Chicano criticised Pren's driving standards. Roles were reversed at Monaco when Chicano wiped out Pren at the chicane. Of course, they both went on to challenge for the win. When Mr. Exalski knocked his own teammate's rear wing off. Monaco, not a track you want no rear wing. Is Chicano going to do his favourite move and just completely out-tracks the car out of here? No, not able to do it on Pren. There's Kart doing his 1.5 behind Archie. So there's a lot of potential battles between Pren and Chicano, Danny and Vance, Kart and Archie. But I'm afraid right now, despite leading Hot Wheels, it doesn't look like the championship's gonna go to them. other team are 1st and 4th. They are 5th and 10th. And has to get 1.2, so Vance is starting to re-close in. It's night time and spray and dirty air and everything. It's not. Sorry, I keep on to clear my throat. It's not the ideal conditions you want to be racing a car in, but it is the same for everyone. Gilo is doing a very good job up front of holding on to Mr. Excelski. Just makes you wonder what could he have done had he not been penalised and demoted to last for the grid. Slicker has gained on Berno, some good pace from the Huracan driver. Starting to close in on Berno, who was, of course, leading this race for a good chunk at the start. He started on pole and, well, certainly took the initiative. Ran off, his teammate caught him, let his teammate go. And now Berno is looking at being demoted to P7, while Archie is sat in P3 with Cart gaining. Chicano is through on Pren, so there's been a move somewhere. So Cart, he's within the game's sort of danger range of 1.2 seconds. So is he gonna try and demote Archie off of the podium? Of course, if this happens and Mr. Excelski does in fact need fuel, which I'm sure he's gonna, because he's gonna have to use near enough a litre a lap to get to the end, just over a litre a lap. While everyone else has about 25 to 30 litres more than him. Archie particularly has a lot. That Audi could be a much thirstier car, being a V10. I'm sure this is the V10 version. I could be wrong. I used to know all this stuff when I raced this game every week, but now I don't. Now I talk over it. Slicker now. In fact, what's happened to Pren? So Pren's had a mistake in the S's, which has allowed Danny through, might allow Vance through. So Pren, struggling in the rain, he's had a couple of pirouettes. But Car is going out with Archie. We saw a brief flicker in T1 and 2. So there was an attempt, an unsuccessful one, but there was one. Slicker, no move on Berno yet. Now what Vance needs, he needs Pren to go and close Danny and make a move and try and drag him through. On pace, you would think. Oh no, Pren, I was about to say, you'd think Pren would have the pace. But he's had a half spin this time, he's managed to save it. The old slamming the brakes and getting them to lock up trick. So that frees Vance. He gets a chance to go and attack Danny again without a Ferrari in his way. So out the penultimate corner, Archie has had a better run. Sounds like he had to left off going through the final corner. His Cart gonna have a chance into T1. He's certainly gaining a good amount. He's gaining and gaining again. This is surely going to be it for Cart. It's all on him. Unless he gets the braking wrong, he should keep it. And he does. That's P3 So it's first and third for our championship protagonists. Alright, Slicker, can he do something similar to the other Audi? Not as close. No move possible. Vance has gained about a second on Danny since clearing Pren in about 3/4 of a lap. So, does Vance get by, and if so, where? Oh, that wouldn't be the way to get through. Of course, Pren's not far away. He needs to make sure that if he makes a move, he doesn't allow the Ferrari through. Slicker needs to try and get close, coming out of the last couple of corners. Berno very, very close to the grass. That is playing with danger as they pull onto the oval in inverted commas. So, I mean, it's not really an oval, it's like a rectangle, but... Oh! Slicker lost the rear end. That's going to send him over the grass. So about Vance on Danny. This is no longer a flat-out corner. So bravery is a big part of it. Danny weaving. Need to make sure we don't do that too many times, because if Danny never turned to a defensive position, that would probably be classed as excessive weaving. Danny, it might just be a matter of time before he finds himself down in P11. It's not quite a big enough braking zone to try and throw it down the inside. I'm not sure we've seen any moves into that turn. If we have, we've seen one or two, and they would have been very early on. As we're approaching lap 40, so we're going to be entering the final third of the race soon, about lap 42. Sorry, I swear when I commentate, I always have a cough, and my sore throat doesn't help. I really need a drink. But there's too much action, and I'm too dedicated. As we're going to have a three-way scrap. Don't care if it's for 9th, 10th, and 11th, it's going to be a good scrap. I certainly hope so. Vance very close. How close can he be into the penultimate corner? Pren might try and throw it down the inside and ruin his chance, but he doesn't. Now it's the battle of bravery. Danny is wide, that might mean he has to get off the throttle a bit more. But he seems to have actually held it fine. So he survives for now. What about Slicker and Berno? 1 second. The Slicker, who was the immovable object, now has to try and pass, well, the other immovable object of the race. These two both did brilliant defensive jobs. Slicker holding on for his P3 and Berno holding on for his P2. But Vance hasn't really had a clear chance at Danny's Mercedes. Gillo still holding on to Mr. Exalski very well, actually set on a quicker lap, as did Carr. Of course, Mr. Exalski lower on fuel, which will have a slight effect on his pace. Vance almost had a little bit of an overlap coming out of that corner. He needs a good run out of this corner, has a narrower line in than Danny. But Danny just seems to be quick enough at the place where it matters, which is the final sector. Because other than that, it doesn't really seem like there's too many places to have a go. Other than turn 1. Turn 1's the best place. And the end of the back straight. It's the sort of first half of the lap where Vance, you can see how much he's gained. Is he going to do everyone's favourite move? No, not quite. Oh, he's got a good run. Can he try and throw him down the inside? Danny, aware of it, closes that door. Well, Vance has a good run. Needs to make sure, although being so tucked up so close to Danny means he had to go over, and Pren is round. His bad race is going... Oh, and he's round trying to recover. His bad spell in the race has gotten even worse. He is not liking this wet conditions. If that means anything, that means if Danny does get past, it's going to be P10 for now, not P11. Should have thought if Vance got through, then Pren would be straight on the attack. Danny is really, really not happy with these conditions. Well, Slicker up ahead is through on Berno. Berno has slow last lap last time around, 34.2. So that is your most likely answer, either half spin or a slide or something. As Chicano was going onto this straight quite slowly. So what's happened to him? A 38.9, it looks like something happened out of those final few corners. This is as close as Vance has been. Again, I wouldn't say it's close enough, not unless he goes kamikaze, or if Danny goes in hot. Again, being wider into and out of turn 2 seems to yield better traction. They're down the inside, there's a bump. And Vance, I think, let that one go. He sort of knows himself that was a tad ambitious. Wasn't really a sort of throw it down the inside and hope corner. Not a big enough braking zone. So if he's going to do it, it needs to be a bit cleaner than that. That was his best chance. Danny had a mistake. If he could have put Danny offline into turn 4 and maybe tried sliding down the back straight. It seems that Vance is so much quicker in that first section that he's tucked right underneath through that chicane, and he ends up being offline and having to slow down significantly more than Danny ahead. As Slicker is in the pits. Has it dried up? Yes. It's still a bit shiny on the ground. It's not raining, there's not as much spray, but Chicano, Berno and Slicker all thinking it is time. Vance and Danny not feeling so. Pren, he goes in, so 4 are making the switch to slick tyres. So how much can they gain from being the first to do so? We will have to monitor the times. In fact, what about the leaders? Mr. Exalski, then Gilo goes in, so Gilo takes the gamble. What about behind? Cart also goes for the gamble. Archie also takes it. So very few are not going for it. So far, just Danny and Vance. Archie's gone in. What about Schwantz? He continues around, so only 4 drivers out of the whole field. Let's see Berno and Vance. I'll see that gap. Oh, look at it coming down. 13 seconds, 12 seconds, 12 and a half. Here's 12, we're into the 11s. Although we saw this last time, I mean, Vance could have spun. In fact, I think Vance has. He's 18 seconds behind Danny. Yeah, 27 seconds off, so that'll be why the gap is coming down so significantly. As Gilo comes out as, I mean, Mr. Exalski is almost a lap ahead. That shows you how long this pit lane is. Cart and Archie now just emerging. Vance comes in. Danny has, well, he's not, yeah, he's continued, as has Mr. Exalski, as has Schwantz. In fact, Schwantz is coming up to the pit lane now. See what the Hot Wheels driver does. Is he pit or does he continue? He continues. We'll have to, we'll have to see what Gilo's lap time is, because this is going to be his first flying lap. 32's pretty much the benchmark. It looks a lot quicker. 32's the benchmark for the wet runners. Looks a little sketchy to the final corner. There's probably still going to be wet spots. 140, that must have actually counted as his outlap. Danny still continuing on the wets. 31, the wets seem to be slowing down a little bit. Seems this final corner is a little bit sketchy on the tyres. And what has happened to Cart? Was Cart one of the ones who pitted? I think he did, so what happened to him? He is dropping down the order. He's cruising in. Has he smashed his car somewhere? Doesn't look like it. And that damage could just be from earlier, so something has happened to him, whether they've not changed his tyres correctly. Well, here's Gilo coming up to lap a couple of cars. Vance gets out the way nicely. It is Pren up next. Pren, who'll be happy that the wet tyres are over with. Stays to the right, lets his Ferrari compatriot go. What sort of time is Gilo going to do? 27. So it is definitely dry tyres. But Danny, I think, has taken too long to respond. Vance and Pren. 34.8 for Pren. What tyres is he on? I'm trying to think. I don't think he was the lap back, so I think he is pitted. It's starting to get really messy. But here it comes, Mr. Exalski. How much time is he going to have lost to Gilo? I think we might see a change in lead. 13 litres. He's going to have to put fuel in as well. And with Cart and his demise, we're going to see also a change in the way that the Constructors' title is going, because it looked almost certain that it was going to be in the hands of Cart and Mr. Exalski, but it might just be swinging the other way. Gilo is coming down the main straight. Mr. Exalski has had fuel. It'll be time for dry tyres. As he starts moving, where's Archie? I think Mr. Exalski is going to resume his P2. Archie will be delighted they are back in the dry conditions. I wish the game told me what tyres who is on. And I'm thinking, who the hell stopped and who's not? Because the order is so very different. That might be everyone that made a pit stop. Mr. Exalski comes into turn 1 as Gilo. Well, he's approaching the final sector. He has 21 seconds. So Gilo, despite starting last because of his grid penalty, well, he's on for a strong result. He's looking, well, a good chance for a win. R10 nailed it with his strategy. He's back up to P3 with his teammate behind. He has a decent lead. Of course, it is still damp in places, so no one needs to take anything for granted. We could still see cars around. Schwantz is in. What that is for, I'm not sure. But he is going to drop behind Cart. And that is going to completely change the dynamic of this constructive battle. Well, that was interesting. He was in, basically stopped and off. Car is going to go through. So, with it, is their dominance of this team's title. 7th and 11th is not what Hot Wheels need. Well, is this man who's holding the baton for his team. His teammate and the rivals are not having a great race, but he is carrying it on his shoulders, taking the initiative, and he just needs to finish where he is. He has 19 seconds of Gilo with 16 laps to go. But the bad thing for this means everyone has split up, and there's not really gonna be much fighting right now. Chicano might start making an impression on Berno's Audi. Further back, Vance and Pren not too far away. Cart isn't far away from Pren, and Schwantz, well, he needs to make a recovery as Archie, who is a lap ahead of him. As it stands, we're gonna wait for a fight. Chicano looks like most likely to take on Berno. As it stands, it's gonna be a good result for the Czech-like team. That car has closed on Pren. And 9/10 between them. Chance is, I'd say, a bit too far to come back right now. Car has been very quick all race. Again, like I said earlier, he's just been very, very unlucky with certain things. We saw him have to make a second return to the pits, as did Schwantz. There's Arthur Pennant, that's 11 now for Car. Oh, as he's got in a tangle with Pren. That not ideal for the pair. As cones go flying, Car gets sideways. there's a car just ahead. It's Mr. Exalski actually, who must have just lapped the pair. If anything, probably during their collision, as he's only just there. Chicano. He's now gaining on Berno's Audi. I should say Berno and Chicano, two of the biggest winners from the pit stop phase. Chicano was about 8th or 9th. Well, he wasn't 9th, that was Danny Vincent Pren in their fight. But he's gained and he's looking at a P4. Berno was about 6th, he's up to P4, so these two have gained, as has Archie. He was off the podium at one point, he's now firmly back on it. So you can see still sort of little bits of water. Oh. Sorry, my throat again. Over the track, still some spray coming up off that Audi. But on the slick tyres, it could be very easy to lose it over one of those if it was sitting in the wrong place. Oh, that is off from Berno big time. I remember I commentated over a race once at Silverstone where basically the whole track was track was dry. Jesus, if I can English. The whole track was dry, but the Hangar Straight, I'm sorry, the Wellington Straight, it was basically undrivable. You were off throttle the whole way down it. It was so wet. We've not had that here. It's only tiny little patches. But Chicano has made the move on Berno. Berno, you'd think, should be safe enough in 5th place, which would be a great result for him. Kart closing on Pren, as he did earlier. Of course, that ended up in contact. And, well, I look away for 1 second, and Pren seems to have gone round again. I do apologise. It's Archie, I think that is, comes up to lap him. It is, it's Archie. I do apologise for missing that. So, on track, what are the chances of a battle? I don't think we're gonna get a battle. Unless someone makes a mistake and drops into the clutches of someone else. Mr. Exalski has been gaining on Gilo. Up front, still Gilo, the gap is coming down, but maybe 10 laps to go. There's no way those that 14 seconds is gonna come down in 19 laps unless Gilo really struggles. But if anyone can do it, it is gonna be Mr. Kexalski. he's shown that he has fully deserved this championship. He will likely set off with a win. As you can see, we're starting to see some daylight. Pren is in the pits, and you can see some damage on the front of that 488 as a slicker comes through to lap him. Is there any chance of Slicker catching Bernal? Don't think so. We wait in anticipation of any sort of battle, because, well, this race was turning out to be a brilliant one. Pit stops and mistakes and whatnot have sort of broken that up for now. We await something. Otherwise, it is going to be a 10-lap parade. Mr. Excelsior 1.3 quicker than Gilo last time around. Has traffic, though. He's coming up. In fact, he has lapped Pren, who's just been lapped by Vance. So that's Pren at 2 laps down now. And Vance is gonna be next. You can see definitely starting to light up now. Gonna be a change in conditions, a change in grip. It almost looks a bit foggy. So, I think the best thing we can probably do right now is kind of reflect on this season. We just started off with Mr. Excelsior winning the first 2 races, not winning again until round 7. First race at Nürburgring GP. So I'll see a lot of spray through turn 1. Mr. Excelsior is starting to close on Gilo. But, as the season is, as we all expected, or I certainly expected that when it started, JR would have a strong challenge at the title. He could have won last season. Of course, last season he won the first 4 races in a row. Didn't manage it. Won at Nürburgring, but of course was disqualified for a formation lap infringement. He basically started way higher up than he should have. Showing great pace, but it never came from, and he had to pull out due to other commitments. Danny, for a while, looked like he was going to fight Mr. Excelsior for the title, but no race wins. A P8 in Dubai, a P7 at Rapuna. Of bad results for him, putting him out of the contention. Or Schwantz had a DNF or DNS at Monaco. So, are there any battles? I was wondering why the hell the laps were changing, and I remember there's the cars laps down. That is, it doesn't look so bad on board, but off board it looks very foggy. Gilo with Danny ahead. Danny, who was like a title tender 2 or 3 rounds ago, probably won't like being lapped. But I'm sure he will openly admit he's struggled these last 2 races, particularly in the wet period of this race. He was arguably the slowest car on track, Gilo, with a flash of lights saying get out the way. Or Gilo was very quick at Monaco before he ended up being upside down. He's not had a podium this season, Gilo. This result would put him ahead of Slicker in the standings, and ahead of Marty as well. But Danny, not perhaps being the most obligatory to the blue flags. I think he's realised now, after about a lap. Trust me, I've been in Gilo's position. I did a race not long ago where I spent a lap and a half behind last place without them moving, and I couldn't get by. Eventually took a mistake for me to get through. Yeah, off board, so foggy, you go on board, it's fine. The gap is coming down, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Mr. Gzalski. He's going to settle for P2. As it is now sunrise around the Brickyard, as it is known. Whether Gilo will finish this race and go and pour milk on himself, who knows. I'm sure he'll be happy about the win. I don't know if he will be that happy, but each their own. This is the closest we have to a battle. But how are the penalties? Still to Pren, a minute 10. What on earth did Pren do to get a minute 10? I mean, it's not going to make any difference. Cart with 11 seconds. That'll surely drop him behind Schwantz. But he's going to try and go get Vance. Berno, as it stands, his penalty will drop him behind Slicker. Danny has a couple of laps to try and get within the 10 seconds that Berno has. It's going to be close between Berno and Slicker as to who loses out. Car, it seemed almost that he got onto Vance by a mistake from Vance. Now doesn't have the pace to match it. So he can't match his early race pace where he was very, very quick. I don't expect to see this form into a battle. Well, I'd love it to provide some late race action. Not had any after the second stops. We had plenty before and after the first, but the second stop seems to have spread the grid out quite a bit. So it is lap 60, halfway around it for Gilo. There's a couple of laps to go, 9 seconds to Mr. Gzalski. So, I mean, as long as he doesn't throw it away, he will win this race. And as it stands, it will be the team's title for the Cash Show Mercedes. I have to say that's so slow, otherwise it sounds weird. So Mr. Excelsior could do the double, of course helped by car. A team and drivers double would be brilliant for them. Well, there's still a lot of spray in the final turn as well as turn 1 and 2. There's Mr. Excelsior in the background. Makes you think, what could he have done had he started with the correct amount of fuel? Could he have won this race? Because putting in fuel in this game takes a long time. Hence why I always get people who start with a full tank and then don't put fuel in. Happens every time, happens here, happens when I race. No one would put fuel in. The only time you would is if you've miscalculated. I don't think Mr. Excelsior would have miscalculated that bad. Lap 61 for Gilo, which is a couple of times round to go. We had a crazy tight field spread, 27 seconds between the whole field when we approached the second stops. As until Pren kept spinning and extended that, as he almost does there. Yeah, it was a crazy close field. And after the second stops, some got it right, some got it wrong. Now, what about Cart? He's back on Vance. So he has got the pace to match, not just be there through a mistake. And Vance, who earlier was all over Danny, trying to demote Danny to P10. Not quite had pace to match. And now that was a mistake from the Dutch driver. Is that gonna allow Cart a chance? No, the traction wasn't quite good enough through the penultimate corner. What about the final turn? He's actually got a good exit out of there. But an equal machinery, how strong is the slipstream going to be? It's not proving very just yet. But he has this lap and the next one's due. Of course, these guys are a lap down. You can see on the minimap, Gilo going around the final corner, a lap to go, Slicker ahead. Slicker will oblige to the blue flag rules. A great driver Slicker is. That was a flash of lights, I think, saying go past here. Because he moves to the right. Thank you from Gilo. It is just a lap to go before he gets his first race win and his first podium. It's not a bad way to do it. But this is the last chance for Cart. This is going to be his last lap. Gilo is on his last lap. I think Vance has just opened up a little bit of a gap. It's just a sector to go for Gilo, who, remember, started last due to a penalty. Well, he just has one more corner to go. He was brilliant in Monaco, didn't quite turn out. He's been brilliant here. You can see he's celebrating very early. It's going to be the win for Gilo. He wins at Indianapolis after almost an hour and a half. Mr. Gzalski takes P2, and with that, the team's championship. So it's jubilation for the front two. A win for Ferrari, P2 for Mr. Gzalski, and that pretty much single-handedly wraps up the title. Like Danny, oh no, it's the car didn't quite get Vance. Schwantz will take P10, who is still racing. Berno and Chicano. Chicano not had the return he would have expected. Some of these new guys have come in and have been absolutely incredible. There was no repeat of his championship fight. Not all of that was down to himself. Of course, post penalties, car drops behind Schwantz. Berno's going to keep his place. He has a big gap to Slicker. Chicano will come around P4. I'm sure he can't complain after that one. He was backwards and last at one point. And Berno will take P5 and will be the last car to cross the line. So, there you go. That was a brilliant end to the season. Gillo fantastically takes the win from 11th on the grid. Spence not making the start. Mr. Gzalski takes P2 and the team's title with it. Archie, another podium. Absolutely fantastic for Archie. Deserved that. Chicano will take 4th. Berno 5th. A brilliant day for the Audis. Another good day for the Chick Slick cars of 4th and 6th. Danny and Schwantz 7th and 9th. Unfortunately, that is not enough to save their team's titles. Even with Car in 10th. Vance P8, and then Pren, well, he had an absolute nightmare and finishes P11. So, to AOR and all the drivers and everyone who has supported me this season, thank you very much. I've enjoyed doing this. Thank you for all the praise and positive comments I always get from the drivers and some of you guys who watch this. Thank you to AOR for giving me the chance to do this. But yeah, Mr. Gzalski, Drivers Champion, him and Car, Teams Champion. And yeah, that has been Season 15 of AOR. And well, Season 16, if you hear my voice on the live stream, I'm back. If you don't hear me, then I'm not. Because things can change, so who knows. But yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this season, this race, everything we've tried to put on for you guys. Of course, sim racing is important in these times that we're currently in. It's a replacement for real racing. And, well, we hope we've put on as good a show for you as we can. So from me, the drivers, and everyone at AOR, thank you for watching.